Hi there. If you want to know how to get promoted at work, then you're watching the right video. In this video, I'm going to give you 3 steps to making that request for a promotion and pay rise. And it's nothing to do with how hard you've been working. It's not going to damage any relationships. In fact, it's going to help you build relationships in your workplace. And at the end, I'm going to give you the other benefits that you're going to get for going through this process. My name is Laura and I help professionals communicate and present with confidence. I help them influence up and I help them accelerate their careers. I've spent 20 years managing multidisciplinary teams, communicating up constantly to C-suite level executives and managing projects across multiple different disciplines. I've worked with professionals and teams in companies like IBM, the NHS, Facebook, Oracle and the police. And I'm really glad you're here right now because we're going to be talking in this video about how to get promoted at work and really getting on that career path that you want to be. Maybe you're not getting the jobs you deserve. Maybe you're not getting recognition for your efforts. And maybe you're not getting the pay rises that you want and the promotions. And you're probably not feeling like you're in total control of your career path. And this video is really about how to take control of that conversation, how to get promoted at work, how to get a pay rise, and how to get control of your career path in the way that you want to. Now, with this video, there is actually an action sheet that you can use, which includes all the slides and all the content that we go through in this video. It also includes spaces so that you can write in your answers to the questions. And as you go along, you build how you're going to ask for that promotion at work. So in the description under this video, there is a link. So click on that link at the end of this video or pause it and click on that link now and download the worksheet, the action sheet that takes you through this process. Click on the link, it's in the description under this video. So how to get promoted at work. There are 3 steps in terms of preparing to have that conversation. Step 1 of how to get promoted at work is identify what your boss or your line manager or the senior manager and the company or whoever you're talking to really value. Now this is key right at the beginning to start thinking about you and your performance from your boss's perspective and from the company's perspective and what is their priorities. You might be thinking things like, what are their priorities? What are their challenges? What are they interested in? What are their concerns? What do they stay up at night thinking about? And thinking through what it is. And it may be things like finance, income, it may be risk, it may be efficiencies, project efficiencies and how you can save money. It might be team management, it might be diversity and inclusion, it might be efficiencies in the business. So the thing is that whoever you're talking to will have their own personal priorities, and the more that you can get them to buy in to what you're saying, the easier it is going to be to get promoted. So the best place to start is thinking about the conversation from the person you're talking to's perspective. What are their challenges? What are their problems? What are their priorities? What's important to them? Money in, profit, finance, or is it diversity, or is it risk, or is it efficiencies and saving money, saving resource, saving team time? Whatever it is, think about who you're talking to and what is their priority. Step number 2 of how to get promoted at work. Specify the difference in value you have added between when you started your current job and now. So now that you have identified what is a priority to your line manager, to your boss, to the company that you're working in, you really need to be thinking about what is the difference between when you started the job, when you started whenever that was, to what you're doing now, and what is the difference in value that you have added to the business, to the company, to the project team since when you started doing the role. And actually, if you go through this exercise and think back to when you first started, you really realize how much more value, how many more projects you're doing, how many more responsibilities you have. Maybe you have a bigger team, maybe you're reporting across a different number of teams in your company. What is the difference between where you started from and where you are now? And also, in addition to that, is thinking about, in terms of the promotion that you're going for, is how much of that job are you already doing already? So how can you demonstrate that you're already doing the job that you want the promotion to? You're already doing all of those job roles and responsibilities. So think about, where did you start in the role? What were you doing? What were your responsibilities? How did you interact with the company? Think through to where you are now and the additional value that you're adding to the company or the work stream or the team, and also how much of the work that you're doing now is already in the profile of the job that you want to get promoted to, or sort of what is understood as the role and requirements to that promotion level. And be thinking about it in terms of step one, which is, what are the work streams and priorities of the people that you're talking to? So step two is really about identifying where you were when you started doing the role to where you are now, and the difference in value you have added to the business and added to the project team or the team that you're working in, and also how you've really sort of upped your game to be doing the role and the responsibilities of the promotion that you're going for. So that's step two. Step three of how to get promoted at work. Position your request in terms of the increased value you have contributed since when you started your job to now. So step three is about putting together the request for promotion and thinking about where you started from and the value that you've added, and aligning that with the priorities of your boss or your line manager or the company, and requesting the promotion in terms of that, I've added this value to the company. I've increased the sales, I've brought in more projects, I've increased the value of the client that we're working on, or I have made these processes more efficient, I have saved resource on this project, I have gone out in the world and I have been building our reputation, people recognize me as part of the company. And these are all the ways that I have added value, and be thinking about what is important to the people that you're talking to. And if you can say, this is where I started from, and since then, I started doing this role, and since then I've been doing so much more. I've been adding more value to the company, more value to the business, and I've been doing this new role, which is really where I'm going to be promoted to. So you can really see the difference in what I'm doing in the company now compared with when I first started the role. And if there is specific requirements to the new position that you want to be promoted to, or the pay rise that you wanted, then you can sort of, again, be demonstrating that you're already ticking all those boxes and you've already increased the value that you're giving back to the business. So it's really an exercise in working out, what is it they prioritize, what is the increase that you have done since being in your role to now, and anything else that you need to be doing in that new role that you want, and demonstrating that crossover between those two. So how to get promoted at work is about positioning the request for pay rise or promotion in terms of the additional value you have added since starting the role, in terms of what is a priority from their perspective and what they care about. So number one, identify what your boss, your line manager, senior manager and company value. Specify the difference in value you have added between when you started your current job to now. And number three is position your request in terms of that increased value you have contributed since when you started your job to now. And if you're asking for a promotion and already doing the scope of the job, you are going to also state this very clearly. State that I already have the roles and responsibilities of this promotion or this position that I'm requesting for. So this process really forms the foundation of your request to position yourself for promotion and a pay rise or a pay rise. And it's really about showing how much value you've added and how you are really committed to the company. And yes, there are other factors such as what the market value is for your job, for your role, or perhaps what other people are being paid. And you just need to position all of that very sensitively and constructively in the conversation that you're going to have. And I think the underlying message is, I'm committed to the business. I want to go further. I want to add more value. I want to do better. And this is the direction I'm going in. And this is my request. And I want to be promoted. I want to have a pay rise. I want to get my career path going in this direction. And as Harvard Business School says, the benefits of taking control of how you're perceived by others and making them understand the unique contribution you can make are vast. You get promoted, you get pay rises, you get recognition for your efforts, you can influence upwards effectively, you build relationships in the business, and really, as I said, define a clear career path, no matter what the outcome is to the conversation that you're going to have. You get commitment from the company because you're making a commitment and you're demonstrating leadership and confidence again, which means that career path, that promotional path is really going to get focused on for you because you're demonstrating that you have the leadership skills and the communication and confidence skills to go further in your career. And right now, it is also about securing your job in the downturn. Really communicating up the value that you're adding to the business is key to make sure you're being recognized for what you're doing and the job you're doing. And also in the current climate that we're in this downturn economy, it's about securing your job in the downturn. And ultimately, don't let others go past you on the career ladder. Because the people who are communicating effectively their value to their senior leadership team, to their bosses, are the ones that are going to be looked at for career progression. So don't let others go past you on that career ladder. So as I said, get the action sheet, which is underneath this video in the description. There's a link in the description. You just got to click on it and get the action sheet, which will take you through this process. You can answer the questions as you go along, and then you really form the basis of your request for promotion. And there is another video coming up which will help you communicate effectively to senior stakeholders, to your boss, to your line manager, to the people in the company that you're asking for a promotion. So I'd really check that out as well. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. So get the download if you haven't already. It is at the top of the description. There's a link there. And go through this process, take action now, and go in with total confidence when you're asking for that request for promotion and a pay rise, and really fast track your career. And I look forward to seeing you there.